check with what's going on, and not sure if you guys can hear me. If you can't, please let me know. I was trying to check it on the phone here, but I cannot get in. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Can you hear me? Let's see. Can you hear me? Testing, 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 testing. Okay, it looks like you can hear me. All right, so fantastic. So it's Freestyle Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. And today I'm going to talk about a few things here. Some interesting things happened with the business this week, making progress on the development. Had a lead, exciting thing on the lending side of the things, the lending business that came from Argentina. So shout out to President Malay over there in Argentina that's making a lot of changes there for the good thing of the country and progress for the economics of the country. And then today I'm going to talk a little bit about, I'll mention interest rates a little bit, but then today I'm going to talk about the evolving real estate landscape on why you need a real estate agent. Some of you may know I'm also a real estate broker, really more practice it as a referral agent to work with my agent partners, sending them business, and I focus on doing the financing, getting you the money that you need to buy, whether it's to become a homeowner, buy your home, or to buy an investment property so you can earn cash flow, whether that it be residential, commercial, or possibly business. So today we have we'll start with the topic. So why do you need a real estate agent? So the market's changing right now. A lot of people, we have access to online, all this information. We have access to the MLS, not the MLS, but Realtor.com, Zillow are the top popular ones. I know there's Trulia, there's others. So why do we feel like we need a real estate? We can find the house, right? We can do it ourselves, but why is a professional important? And these are some of the top recommendations on why you should consider it. Now, of course, there's always exceptions, but I think for most people, you definitely should hire a real estate agent. This is the reasons why. So number one, it says navigating this landscapes requires specialized expertise and market knowledge. So most of us are busy. You have a full-time job, you have a business, you really don't have the time to learn the real estate market per se, and you're looking for someone that is an expert in that market or someone that's willing to go in and dig deep on the proper locations, the properties, that when they walk up to a property, they already know what they're looking for. So that's one of the top reasons you really should consider the whole real estate agent. You want that skill that you don't have really time to develop. If you're going to be buying properties for a long time, you have extra time, you want to develop them, all for you. But most of the time, you don't. So let's be realistic there. Agents' advantage, access, expertise, and their network. So they have in-depth knowledge of the market, but they also have a big network of people that they know in that market. So I actually bought a property here, and I represented myself because I'm a real estate broker. I live in Ocala, Florida. Shout out, Ocala, Florida. And one of the things is I didn't really have a lot of vendors here in Ocala. I owned some rental properties, but actually I didn't have a variety of vendors. I only had a specific plumber, specific this person. But my listing agent actually gave me access to all her vendors. So now I had access to all those vendors that I could use for anything that I needed. So I think that that was a big positive to do business with a real estate agent. This particular, the listing agent met that need, but a buyer's agent will definitely meet that need as well. The next one is analyzing comparable properties and ensuring the seller, you get the best price for them and find the best value. So think about this. You're gonna make an offer, you're gonna look at a property, you've never analyzed a property before, you've never looked at comps before, and the property's for sale for 400,000. Should you pay 400,000? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the property is actually worth 390 or 360, and you're overpaying because they priced the property high for that, see if demand was there. And I mean, maybe an appraisal comes in on time and it comes in at the right value, but what if it doesn't? Now you lost that money because the property really wasn't worth that much, because people make mistakes. A real estate agent that's representing you, they're gonna be able to check that for you. The other item is if you are going ahead and buying a property and there's a multiple offer situation. So when I was buying my property here in Ocala, there was a multiple offer situation. There was multiple properties for sale. So what I did, instead of analyzing, I looked at what was for sale in the area, and I looked at the value of the property that I was getting and the desire of the property that I wanted. So I say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pay over the asking price this amount because I know that if I don't lose the property, I'm happy with what I paid. So an agent that's representing you, they're going to help you to make the right decision there so you don't overpay for the property and also that you don't underpay for the property. So now we're going next. So beyond the basics. So your agent's role in negotiation and strategy. Agents act as skilled negotiators, so navigating complex offers and counter offers. So let's say depending on what side they're on. Now, if you're buying a property, what that person is going to do, they're going to make an offer and then they're going to help you and they're going to walk the inspection with you and look at the inspection report. And that inspection report is going to help you to come back to the seller if there's anything serious. Most of the time there is, because no house is perfect. And they're going to say, well, look, you can probably be able to negotiate another $2, $3, $5,000 from there. And if you don't have experience doing that, then that is going to hurt you in that moment as well. The next one is they're going to leverage their expertise to strategize on pricing, on marketing, and the presentation. So let's say you're having to move within a certain amount of time, you're being relocated from your job, and you need to move within 30 days. They're going to tell you, well, you may be able to sell your property for $400,000, but if you want to sell fast based on the market and based on the data, then you probably need to list it for $389,900, $900, and that $10,000 is going to be a difference you're not going to get, but you're going to be able to sell the property on time if that's what you need in that particular situation. Next one is agents impact saving time, money, and stress. And really, being a professional in the field, we don't get to value the amount of stress that some of these things take. And having that third party, being that separation, it is so valuable. It is priceless. I really call them like real estate counselors, really, because they're not only managing the deal, the investment, but they're also managing the people in the investment and making sure everything is smoothly pushed through. So they help streamline the process. They handle all the paperwork. They schedule the inspections. They coordinate with all the parties involved, the appraiser, saving clients valuable time, especially if you're busy business owner or you're an employee working at a job and you don't have a lot of time. Their insight help buyers avoid costly mistakes such as overlooking potential issues or overpaying for a property, ultimately saving money. And then their experience provides invaluable support and guidance, ensuring transparent, stress-free experience. So final thoughts, invest in expertise, secure your future. Hiring a real estate agent is not an added expense. I know people kind of avoid it. Oh man, am I gonna have to pay? I know there's this new law. Look, they're putting in this contract that says they're going to be representing you and the seller needs to pay their commission. If not, most of the time they're asking you to pay. But I would negotiate that with them and say, hey, look, I only want to see properties that the seller's willing to pay the commission, right? Put that in writing because most of the time, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, you don't have that extra money to pay an agent on top of it. So you need the seller needs to pay that either way. So they're just probably going to increase the price, put that into the negotiation somehow. But the expertise is so valuable. For that professional helping you there. All right, so that's there. And the last thing, did a lot of reading this week, some really good books, but some of the top ones that really stood out are, there's two, Super Founders and Powerhouse Principles. The Powerhouse Principle book, it's a real estate developer book by Jorge Perez. I've been wanting to read that book for a long time, and I was able to get into that book. And as you know, we're working on a real estate development project here in Ocala and wanted to kind of understand more on the development side, especially from him, a Hispanic, really successful guy. And it did not disappoint. Tons of nuggets in that book. I highly recommend it if you're interested in real estate investing, specifically real estate development. And then I also read another book called Super Founders, and this is kind of like my 20% business, which is the financial business. And it's called Super Founders, and it's based on data on real actual founders that build billion-dollar startups. So highly recommended if you're interested in building some type of billion-dollar business or just really geek out on the data based on those businesses. All right, so with that, we'll leave it there, and we'll see you on the next time. If you haven't, please let me know if I can help you with financing, if I can help you find a real estate partner to get you the house that you need to own. Would love to work with you in the future. And now I'm getting ready to meet with my traffic engineer to discuss our real estate development traffic study that just came in. So exciting times. All right, stay with us until the next time. A big surprise coming next week. We'll leave it there. Keep you at the edge of your seat. Take care. Bye.